BITBOY versus Solana, a brief look if Solana developers are leaving the ecosystem, and things to look out for in the next weeks and the next months. Let's go. Alright, before we start the video, I want to say a huge thank you to all my subscribers. 100 subs, it means a lot to me, so thank you again. And I want to encourage you, if you want to start something, just go ahead and start today. There's no need to wait, no point to wait. Just go ahead and start and improve day by day, whatever task that is, okay? So thank you again. Please like, comment below, check out my links in the description, and subscribe. Alright, let's stop wasting time and let's jump straight into the news for Solana. Actually, a very controversial topic currently is the Twitter post from Ben, BitBoy, about Solana being deeply involved, or was deeply involved in money laundering, okay? Here I have to remind you guys, if you do your own research and if you research about Ben and BitBoy himself and his past, the answer should be very, very clear whom to listen to and whom not to listen to, okay? This is all I want to say about this topic. There is plenty of videos actually exposing Ben himself. I don't want to beat a dead horse, just simply a comment from myself. If you check out the comment from Anatoly, the co-founder of Solana Labs, basically saying that what Ben here is saying is not even possible on a blockchain. So you have to decide and you have to manage your risk accordingly. Ben gave a time frame of 2 weeks, so let's see which evidence he wants to come up with. Until then, I'm personally not selling, but it is interesting to keep an eye on. Alright, the second thing we're going to talk about is actually a subject I like to cover in my videos, and that is the developer community and the developer activity on a certain blockchain or project. You don't want developers leaving just because of bad price action or some FUD going around. Of course, you want developers to stay in a certain ecosystem just because they built this expertise over time, and especially if the blockchain has a different kind of programming language. Of course, you want those people to stay and to keep developing on this blockchain. And in that regard, a survey has actually been done asking Solana developers about their sentiment on the Solana ecosystem. As you can see here, one of the first questions, a very important one, is how are you feeling about Solana? You can see that the majority is still bullish on the project, of course, with also some people voting at 3 and 4, just because there is still, of course, undoubtedly uncertainty in the ecosystem. Okay, you cannot deny that. The second question was, are you deploying on other chains? With the majority here, actually here, of course, still only on Solana, but also the second largest vote was on Ethereum. In my personal opinion, people are actually escaping to safety. Ethereum, again, being the 900-pound gorilla, which is currently offering the best risk-to-reward ratio in the crypto space, in my personal opinion. So it is understandable that people are actually leaving for Ethereum more than other blockchains. And the third question is, of course, was your team directly impacted by FTX? With the majority actually voting no, as you can see there, okay? Those surveys, of course, are very interesting just to see where the sentiment is from the developers. So it's not retail, it's actually developers on the ecosystem. And clearly here, the developers know how to differentiate price with value, okay? And this is very, very important. You want these people to stick around. One thing would have been important to see how many developers have been asked actually, because we only had around 107 responses. It would be interesting to see how many people have been asked and how many from those people answered. That data we didn't get, but overall, as you can see, it's looking good on the developer side. All right, coming to the NFT side of things, we actually have a new all-time high. Believe it or not, in these times where everybody is super scared and fear is at the all-time high, we actually have a new all-time high in the NFT space. As you can see here, measured in SOL, the data simply speaks for itself. This can mean two things in my personal opinion. The first thing is that those people, of course, are bullish on Solana and simply expect it to bounce sooner or later, especially in the next bull market. The second thing is maybe those people actually don't even care what blockchain they're using. They like that it is fast and that it is cheap, and simply they like the artwork that they're buying and the projects that are currently on Solana. And this is, of course, the end goal. You don't want the user to think about what blockchain he's using, because at the end of the day, user experience and simplicity will win, okay? And this is clearly a good sign for Solana here. And yes, I know currently the NFTs are avatars or are treated like collectibles, but you have to think long-term here. NFTs can be real estate. They can be as passwords. They can be tickets for concerts, for example. So you have to think long-term here, and people will simply use the fastest, cheapest, and easiest option, and that is currently for sure Solana. All right, some things I'm keeping an eye on, especially for the next weeks and months. Okay, the first thing is, let's see how this BitBoy story evolves. Yes, in my personal opinion, there's nothing behind it, but in this space, really you never know. Okay, so it's good to have an eye on. The second thing is the outages. Currently, yes, we are having a great run, especially with the volume we had the last weeks. We had no outages, which is very good. An outage now at this time in the market would be simply very, very bad, of course. The third thing is, especially now with the narrative that Elon Musk brought up, is simply the saga. Decentralized app store and a censorship-resistant phone is simply the future, especially now that people are noticing that the fees, the market fees on those app stores are crazy, and apps can be, of course, regulated. Which app is allowed in which country? In my opinion, decentralization goes a long way and will also be in the future important in cell phones. So those things I'm keeping an eye on. Of course, I will keep you updated on this channel. Again, guys, the most important thing is do your own research, be bullish on yourself, and don't get wrecked.